Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Last week we finished the MSQ, and after talking to the guildies, we've decided that we're going to play through the Hildibrand questline while we wait for more stuff to come. Now, Zora and I have already completed the A Realm Reborn Hildibrand questline, but we've run it through New Game Plus, so we're gonna do it again. So let's dive on in. All right, we are live. Yeah, it says reward unobtainable in New Game Plus mode. So.
Okay.
I'm here. You've been busy as a bee. Seems half the whispers what come my way related to your comings and goings. Being the active type you are, I reckon you'd be interested in investigating some queer rumors, right? But before that, let me ask, ever heard of a man named Hildibrand? I said no. To hear him tell it, he was Eorzea's greatest and foremost inspector. Still, can't say I'm surprised you don't know him. To his credit, Hildibrand and his assistant had a knack for showing up when something shady was afoot. As for sussing out the culprits, well, he had his moments, though I hesitate to give him sole credit. Any road, 5 years ago, he gets it in his head that he's cracked the code of Messia's 7th verse, Dalamud the Calamity. All of it can be stopped, he says, so long as he finds the hero of prophecy. And wouldn't you know it, the hero was Hildibrand himself. So he flies off towards Dalamud. Aye, that's right, he flew. Launched himself straight into the air somehow. Ridiculous as it sounds. Of course, it's only logical that he's got to come back down. Though it was only recently that we found his body. I had reason to bring this up. Oh, right. So Nashu, Hildibrand's erstwhile assistant, has since become an inspector in her own right. At present, she's investigating the queer rumors I mentioned earlier. She's a sweet lass, a bit daft, but sweet nonetheless. So when I hear she's at wit's end, I want to help. Thing is, I prefer to meddle in the affairs of the living. Zombies are most definitely not my forte. So, if you're willing, I'd be grateful if you lent her a hand. As for where to find her, she's like to visit Hildibrand's grave in the Lich Yard when she's frustrated. Try looking for her there first. And off to everybody's favorite place, Camp Drybone. Oh, if only you were still alive, Inspector. You'd know how to stop these zombies. Ah, you there. Could it be? You've come to offer your services to me? Oh, but where are my manners? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nashu, Agent of Inquiries. Extraordinary Inspector. At least that's what I'm trying to be. It's not quite as easy as he made it look. Inspector Hildibrand was a great man, a real Eorzean hero. We traveled the world, me and him, solving cases and thwarting evil. No matter the mystery, you could always count on the Inspector to solve it with grace and style. But then there was the final case. The case of the century, he called it. How to stop the Red Moon from destroying the world. To save us all, he flew into the sky, and all I could do was watch. But then he came back down, and he... This is all a joke. A big funny joke, right, Inspector? Any moment now, you'll burst out of the ground and shout, "Surprise! Had you fooled, eh?" And we'll laugh and laugh. They say they say no one remembers the warriors of light. Their names, their faces, all gone forever. But I remember you, Inspector. No, Gentleman Hero Hildibrand. I could never be the hero you were, but I'll do my best to try. Hmm?
Did she, like, just steal his clothes?
I think she just ducked off screen and changed clothes.
Okay, I was like, oh my gosh.
I, Nashu, Inspector Extraordinaire, will carry on your legacy.
Dug the body up and everything.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap.
So I told myself, well, Nashu, there must be a leader, a head zombie, who tells the rest what to do. Therefore, all we need to do is kill him. Again, that is. Unfortunately, I don't know where he is or how to find him. But now that you're here, my faithful assistant, you could try the one good idea I've come up with so far. If you go to where these dapper zombies were last seen in southern Thanalan, you might find them. Oh, and then you could become their friend and ask to meet their leader. Yes, that should work. That's sure to work.
Why didn't she do that?
It's the only good idea she's managed to come up with, and it was getting somebody else to do it.
That was the best part of her idea.
Mm-hmm.
The silver lining to it. Yes, jump in the car sitting next to my eastern bow.
I gathered. Yeah, I think we might have to wait for a fate to pop here for just a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Found the fallen corpses.
I don't remember having to wait terribly long when I did it.
Sometimes you have to walk in to trigger it to start or something. We found that when we were trying to do... Zora and I were trying to do something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I can show you my new mount while we're waiting.
Yay.
Nice, grats.
Thank you.
Oh, nice. You got it.
Yeah. There's like 4 or 5, like, I think. I can't remember the exact, but this one was the... there's 2 that I definitely want. This was the more expensive of the 2, so I always try to get the more expensive one first.
I'll be right back.
All right. Ah, I think we're popping up now. Be sure to level sync.
Yep. We need to hold off on killing them all.
Yeah. Until Zora gets back.
Yeah.
They bow when they appear.
That's funny. You don't have your tank thing on, FYI. Unless you
Oh.
don't have it at this level.
No, I have it. You unlock that at like level 5.
Yeah, and when we level sync, it doesn't come in, right? It takes it
Yeah.
off, rather. Sorry.
It takes it off, yeah.
I never get to use sleep.
Level sync Zora? Okay. What happened to that guy?
I pulled him over, but then no, I didn't hear him again, so he just reset.
That's funky.
Everybody get credit?
What,
Yes.
It should say, show the curious parchment to Nashu.
Yes, I did.
yeah. So we gotta go back there?
I guess I should actually look at the curious parchment. It says, writ upon this map of the Sigoli Desert in a flamboyant, flowing hand are the words, a gentleman is rather than does. Did you find the zombies? You did. That's wonderful. I've been busy too. The head zombie will rue the day he meets me. You'll see. So, tell me, what did you learn? Oh, so you weren't able to make new friends. That's a shame. But this parchment, this is a map of the Sigoli Desert. There's a spot marked here in the south, and look, there's something written here. A gentleman is, rather than does. That sort of reminds me of... Well, no matter. Let's see where this map takes us, assistant. Onward to the Sigoli. Just a funny, when I did this quest the first time, way back when we were like level 52 or something, there was a player standing right next to her with the same name and the exact same appearance. And I was very confused.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I misread the map. Maybe they're just shy, though. I say we call out to them and let them know we've come in peace. And when the leader shows himself, we strike. I'm going to say the correct thing. Who summons the gentle dead men? They live! They live! And we hunger. My brothers, lend me your ears. A gentleman does not dine upon his guests. Spare this fine gentleman and fair lady your mastications. Withdraw, I say, and harass them no more. Up in the sky, look, it's a bird. No, it's an airship. No, it's the inspector. We hear and we obey. It is you. It really is you. I knew nothing could kill the great Inspector Hildibrand. Hildibrand? Who is this Hildibrand of whom you speak? My name is Zombabrand, Devourer of Brains, Undead Overlord Extraordinaire. What are you saying? You're not an undead overlord. You're a gentleman inspector. Inspector. Overlord. Inspector. Overlord. Oh, Inspector, you're just confused is all. Don't worry, I'll knock some sense back into that noggin of yours. Stay your hand, milady. You know not what you do. Even if I were the esteemed gentleman you purport me to be, the concussive force of the blast is more likely to liquefy my... If crashing into the ground made you forget, then an explosion of equal force ought to make you remember. I'll save you, Inspector, or kill you trying. See, even you acknowledge the possibility that this plan will result in my... death. Normally I would applaud your ingenuity, Nashu, but I would have preferred that you found a more elegant solution. Ah, he remembers me. Inspector Hildibrand remembers me. Yes, yes, I remember you, my faithful assistant. What I do not quite remember is how I came to be here. Ah, such a wonderful dream. I slew a dragon, and... Huh, what is this place? And for that matter, who am I? I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, have awoken at last. I always knew you'd come back to us. Be it Red Moon or Black Dragon, no fiend is a match for my legendary might. And who might this fine gentleman be? Could he perhaps be one of my many admirers? Oh, what is this faintly tingling sensation in my arm? This ringing in my ears? This dizziness? Could it be a case? A mild concussion will not sway Inspector Hildibrand from his true calling. Verily, it could be naught else. Somewhere, nearby, dastardly doings are afoot, and only I can thwart them. Copious quantities of sand, unbearable heat. Aha! This is the Sagoli Desert. I'd bet my life on it. Which means Ul'dah is but a short trek away. Yes, it all fits. Only that den of iniquity could so violently trigger my keen investigator's sense. Fear not, law-abiding citizens. Inspector Hildibrand shall soon deliver you from evil. And back to Ul'dah we go. Oh, so yes, he came out of a grave, therefore he must be a zombie.
Makes sense.
With his memories.
It made sense to the zombies.
Oh, the Hulk has clothes on now.
Oh no. Why, the Hulk? Why?
Wait, where?
He's
Yellow
running by in a
running
yellow
away.
robe. Yeah.
He knows we're talking about him. He took off really fast.
Beg your pardon? You wish to question me as to the whereabouts of that deviant running around town dressed in rags? Do I look like a reporter for the Mithril Eye? I do not consort with perverts. What? You're looking for a half-naked Highlander who likes to catch criminals. I think I'd remember a thing like that. If you do manage to find this inspector friend of yours, tell him to do something about that goddamn duelist. Me mate's pa's cousin's kid's best friends lost its blade the other day to that bastard. I would like to give myself a pat on the back for not stumbling over that.
That
Well
was very
done.
well done.
Sorry, lad, but if it's information you want, you'd best be served by going to Wymond. The only rumors I've heard are those about the weapon thief. Calls himself a duelist, or so I hear. But when you don't allow your proponents to refuse, well... I take it you've dealt with that little zombie problem? So, do tell. Just why were they dressing up like dandies? Wymond! Hey, Wymond! Fall almighty bugger me with a bleeding spear. The dead have risen and they're walking the streets of Ul'dah. No need for melodrama, my good man. As you can see, reports of my death were greatly exaggerated. It's true. He's not a zombie. I checked. How?
Exactly.
Ah, you do seem to be hale and healthy, which begs the question, how in the seven hells did you survive that fall? Why question divine providence? What matters is that Eorzea's champion has returned, and that he, and by that I mean I, shall bring this thieving duelist justice. Heard about that, did you? Might be harder than you think. Even I've got no inkling of the fellow's current whereabouts. Inconceivable. I refuse to believe that the ever-inquisitive, ever-ambitious, ever-reliable Wymond is without a single shred of information, even one of dubious relevance. Well, I make no promises, mind you, but there was some talk of a fair maiden what said her most... This knave assaulted a young woman as well? The audacity! I should fly to her side and... Why, if it isn't the gentleman from the Sigoli! A serendipitous encounter indeed, unless you too seek the belligerent duelist. Capital! It will be invigorating to engage in a friendly battle of wits. Already the spirit of competition fills me. Come, Nashu, we must away. Damn it, Hildy, I ain't told you the lass's name yet. You begin to get the idea of how good Hildibrand is at his job.
Mm-hmm.
Wyman believes it would be best if you assisted Inspector Hildibrand with his investigation. Well, you might as well go after him. He'll be disappointed if you don't. The lady in question is named Yellow Moon. She's a woman with a taste for the finer things in life. Safe to say you'll find her getting fitted for something in the Weavers Guild most every day. Good luck with the inspecting, Inspector.
We know her.
Yep, we remember Yellow Moon. My beloved Pureheart was unlike any wand you've ever seen. Elegant, refined, the perfect accessory for any cultured woman. You will bring it back to me, won't you? A priceless possession, callously ripped from the hands of its owners. The lady weeps, and the wind bears her sorrow to his ears. What gentleman could hear this clarion call and not beg the honor of championing her cause? What in the world? I swear to you, here and now, I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, shall scour all of creation, from the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, for your Pureheart. What he said. And you, my fellow servant of justice, I see your instincts are not to be underestimated, having guided you to this fair maiden's side. Now then, Miss Moon, what can you tell us of the theft? Thefts, sir, to be precise. My Pureheart was only the most recent item to be taken from me. I'm certain I had it when I left home the other day. After I browsed the latest fashions at the Sunsilk and took in a match at the Coliseum, I realized it was gone. So, the time and location of the theft are unknown, essential details without which we cannot solve the case. There is but one logical course of action, Miss Moon, to coax the hidden clues from your memories. We must reenact that fateful day's excursion to Sunsilk Tapestries. Miss Moon, would you be so kind as to describe your visit in detail on the day in question? Nothing unusual happened, but if you insist, I was pondering whether or not to purchase a new dress when a man approached me and confessed his undying love. What sort of man says that to a complete stranger, I ask you? Naturally, I was taken aback. I dropped my purse, in shock, not intentionally, on his foot, and he cried out in pain and fled. If I may be so bold, Miss Moon, that strikes me as a most unusual happening. In any case, it appears to be completely unrelated to the theft. Let us next proceed to the Coliseum and see what you remember. Conspicuous crates. Once again, Miss Moon, if you would be so kind as to tell us what you remember. Well, like before, nothing unusual happened. I felt like gambling that day and was debating which match to observe when a gladiator approached me from behind and confessed his undying love. Naturally, I was taken aback. I whirled about and struck the man in the face with my purse. In shock, not intentionally. Unfortunately, since I was carrying a tremendous sum of money, my purse weighed more than 6 score punces, and the blow was enough to render him unconscious. 120 punces! Miss Moon, you are a remarkably strong woman. Which is precisely why you were targeted. Oh, it's so obvious in hindsight. The thief bore you a grudge. No, it's more than that. He hated you with a passion. There sure are a lot of giant crates in Ul'dah. At the Weaver's Guild, at Sunsilk Tapestries, and here too. These crates are everywhere. I wonder what's inside. But I don't see how we can open... Ah, of course, I still have plenty of explosives. Here, why don't you try? It'll be fun. And before I use them, Nashu's delight. Many cope with grief by taking up new pursuits, such as travel or exercise. Nashu chose to study explosives.
Of course.
At the heart of every crime rests a single unassailable truth, reached only by navigating a web of falsehoods and contradictions. Hearken to me now, for as a shepherd leads his flock, I shall guide you to my irrefutable conclusion. A gladiator professes his feelings only to be rejected and physically assaulted in response, wounding his pride as a warrior and man. Resenting her prowess whilst recognizing his weakness, he carries out a more feasible vengeance. He robs Yellow Moon of her weapon, the Pure Heart. Inspector, we found the Pure Heart. These strange men seeking around town in wooden crates had it. It's not what you think. We're not thieves. We're devotees. Yellow Moon is our sun and stars. We only wish to keep her safe from harm. And should she misplace an item from time to time, we'd collect it for safekeeping. Nothing untoward. You deviants were behind all the thefts. All this time you've been stalking me. What nerve? Ah, such unbridled fury, such righteous indignation. We should be glad to accept the goddess's punishment. Goddess? Devotees? Ah, but of course. That I had you inspect those crates was a stroke of genius indeed. As I was elucidating but a moment ago, those fiends are obviously the ones responsible for the recent rash of weapon thefts, as those thefts were carried out by a single individual, you imbecile. Lest you'd forgotten, the culprit is a duelist. He only claims his victims' weapons after defeating them in single combat. If your powers of observation are as great as you claim, you should have deduced that those buffoons in boxes were incapable of such. I should know. I'm a reporter for the Mithril Eye. My name is Ellie, and I've been investigating these incidents for weeks. And I love how the rain cleared up right as she introduced herself.
Mm-hmm.
Inspector Hildibrand, gentleman investigator and agent of inquiry, I presume. You're looking well for a dead man. Would you like to meet one of the duelist's victims? I'll introduce you, with pleasure. You would be willing to share such precious information with me? Your generosity is commendable, Miss Ellie. May this mark the beginning of a long and beautiful friendship. Yes, very good. The name of the man is... Where in the bloody hells do you think you're going? I haven't told you anything yet.
She came from that direction, so.
True. Having no other recourse, Ellie would instead tell you the identity of the victim. I suppose since you're the imbecile's friend, you intend to help him. The man you want to find is an adventurer named Humphrey. At present, he can be found in the Golden Bazaar. With luck, the good inspector may find his way there by the time you arrive. If not, then so be it. I wonder what will happen when he discovers that the victim is a perpetrator as well. Back to everyone's favorite place. I kind of find it funny that when we were Lobies, and every quest seemed to send us to Camp Drybone, it felt like every quest was sending us to Camp Drybone.
Yeah.
But since then, there could have been other places that we had to go to even more than Camp Drybone. But I don't know. I never noticed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the one we remember.
Mm-hmm. It might be like other X packs. They had their specific hubs, so you were always returning to the same place. But it made sense you were returning there. It never really made sense why everything revolved around Camp Drybone.
Yeah.
I was going to say that about Idleyshire, but that place has the big crafting area too. So.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really proud of the, scenery they created.
True. Hi, I'm Humphrey. And you are? At last, I've caught up with you. You there, young sir. I am told you are the victim of a marauding duelist. Me? A victim? How amusing. You amuse me. True. I was challenged by a duelist not long ago, but where he thought to find a whelp, he found a warrior of light instead. Aye, I defended my honor and my blade. See for yourself. You mean you won? That's amazing. Well, it was nothing compared to what I faced at Cartano. Magitech to the right of us, Magitech to the left, stuck in the middle with Master Lu, with Master Lu we were. Core, he was a dab hand with the old magic he was. I tried to save him, of course, but there's a limit to how many great beasties a man can. That man is no warrior of light. Delamil is there. Tell him how he lost and surrendered a sword that was not his own. Liar. Scoundrel. I trusted that bastard with my father's blade. Bid him take it to the smithy for restoration. Even gave him gil to pay for it. Then he comes crawling back, sniveling and begging forgiveness for losing it in a duel, as if that's enough to set things right. Look at me, you bleeding horse, and look at me. Me flowing golden locks are no more. I've gone bald from the stress and heartbreak. I swear to everything holy that you'll face a reckoning, and if you don't bring her back to me. All right. He beat the shite out of me and took the old man's sword. I used the gil to pay for a surgeon. I have no idea where he or the sword is. What am I supposed to do, huh? I can't give him what I don't have, unless you people will help me find the sword. That's what you do, right? Help people? Have you no shame? First you claim a legacy not your own, then you beg others to help you with problems of your own making. You will refuse this man, won't you, Inspector? And what of Elazar's flowing golden locks? How will forsaking young Humphrey help the man he has wronged? We shall begin our search for the sword by questioning the people of the Golden Bazaar. Antique swords. Oh, I have the foggiest about that. A traveling merchant, Jojunpa, is the one you ought to speak with, assuming he hasn't left. Elazar's sword? Wasn't much to look at, but at least it was authentic. More than a few collectors have been tricked into purchasing counterfeit relics. That boy should be ashamed of himself, robbing poor Elazar of a priceless family heirloom. This goes to show why you should never trust an adventurer who claims to be a warrior of light. Thieves and tricksters, the lot of them. It may not be the most honorable solution, but mayhap you should consider giving Elazar a counterfeit blade. If the deception brings him peace in his final days, would it be so wrong?
Except for now we gotta come up with a counterfeit.
I'm afraid I have no knowledge of an ancient sword, at least not of one I can guarantee to be authentic. You see, any wares I determine to be of dubious origins, I immediately discard in the springs east of Camp Drybone. Although I have no swords for sale at present, I may have disposed of a facsimile similar in design to the one you described. This presents a quandary. Though I am loath to deceive an honorable man like Elazar, a well-intentioned ruse may put his heart at ease, thus spurring the rejuvenation of his flowing golden locks, whilst we continue to search for the genuine article. Well, if there's a sword in that spring, it won't remain there for long. It's one of the most convenient sources of fresh water for the common folk in Camp Drybone. You should endeavor to be more optimistic, Miss Ellie. Like me. I say, we search the spring first before declaring all to be lost. It occurs to me that I am not yet fully recovered from my accumulated injuries. It would not be prudent to immerse my body in water. Not without first coating it in a liberal application of salamander oil. Indeed, on many an occasion, my dearest mother tended my childhood scrapes just so. You understand the importance of physical rehabilitation, yes? Then you can assist me by pouring the oil all over my body. The body is but an instrument in the occasional needing of oiling. So, come, my friend, come and oil me up.
So wrong.
Okay, this is awkward.
Uh-huh. Ah, this comforting scent, as though I am a child in her arms. Quickly now, before it dries, knead the oil into my aching flesh. The pain multiplies manifold. Gently now, gently. Oh gods, oh gods. Yes, at last, my muscles slacken and soften. The warmth spreads and the pain becomes pleasure. And now he's doing squats. Right there, yes. Keep doing that. Just like that. Just let... Yes, now, once more, with feeling. I will admit I had forgotten this quest.
Blocked it from your memory.
Mm-hmm. Never before have I received such splendid ministrations. Now then, into the spring. You as well, my good man. I got a bunch of oil we need to wash off, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've been productive. Excellent. May I see what you found? Worthless bottle. This is not the sword you're looking for. Useless rock. A completely useless and unremarkable rock. Come now, what were you expecting? A rock that keeps corals away? Irrelevant potsherd. Well, at least you didn't pick up a rock at random like some people. No sign of the sword Junjunpa mentioned. I see. Aha! Now I'm all wet. What was that anyway? Did something cause you to... Once again, my instincts have guided us to our quarry. That I had you search that section of the spring was a stroke of... Inspector, it's bad for your health to conduct investigations in those clothes. I'll go to Ul'dah and fetch you some new ones. How thoughtful of you, Nashu. While you were there, purchase a few bottles of hair tonic for Elazar as well. The newest, most potent blend you can find. Is it not wonderful, my friend? Soon all of Elazar's woes will be no more. Zora seemed pleased about something.
I guess I hit an emote on accident.
I looked around. I was like,
I was like, she's very happy to get out of the car.
That was such a long drive.
As promised, I return to you your father's ancient blade. Aye, it is her. Every chip and scratch is just as I remember. God's bless ye, sir. I never expected you would go to such lengths for two strangers without thought of a reward. Altruism is a rare trait these days. It's common enough if you know where to look. A gentleman recognizes the good in every soul, and understands that none deserve to be forsaken. Spoken like a true gentleman, though your garments beg to differ. Inspector, I brought your change of clothing. I also brought a supply of tonic for this peddler I met on Pearl Lane. Excellent work, Nashu. If you would just bring me the case. Inspector? Inspector Hildibrand? There appears to be something lodged in my forehead. Could it be a missive from an adoring admirer? The author neglected to pen her name. I shall come to claim the collector's blade. That's supposed to be flattering. No, it's supposed to be intimidating. The duelist wrote this. He's daring you to stop him.
Oh my gosh.
A challenge? For me? Oh, at last the curtain rises. Very well, if I am to duel the duelist, I must dress for the occasion. I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, accept your challenge. He's incredible, so bold, so majestic, just like a warrior of light.
I take exception.
No, a gentleman of light. He's exceptionally something. Inspector Hildibrand, you look amazing. Hildibrand.
That guy used every single one of those bottles.
Looks like it worked.
I know, it's hilarious. In the background, he's just putting it on. It was so funny.
This is far from the strongest swords. Blue skies, or blue skies, and the rolling desert. How much longer must I seek the blade of legend? Challenge accepted, my worthy opponent. You shall not defeat me. With my, let us call it what it is, genius, I shall... This is going faster than I can read, so... Hildibrand will return in the Three Collectors. Hey, I know that spear. That's the one I found buried with the pumpkins. Pumpkins sort of remind me of... No, it's gone. Never mind. Ellie wishes to share her latest discoveries with you. Perchance you are curious about the duelist's declared target. It so happens I have identified the weapon in question. The Treaty Blade is part of an Ishgardian noble's collection. Or was, I should say. No, it has not yet been stolen. It has been purchased by an Uldan collector, the wife of a wealthy merchant living in Vesper Bay. Suffice it to say, I would be remiss in my duties as a reporter were I to not investigate her. And should the duelist strike whilst I am present, well, I hope I needn't explain what a golden opportunity that would be. Ingratiating myself to her may prove to be the greatest challenge, though. I am told she's a difficult woman to please. Fortunately, I am also told that she has a fondness for rare flowers, the sort that Tutusi in Camp Drybone sells. You can come along if you like. Here you are, miss. Thank you for your patronage. Was it for love or money that you killed him? It was you. Have you gone mad? It was an Amoja arrow in his back. I don't even know how to shoot a bow. Amoja don't shoot fleeing unarmed merchants. They capture and temper them. Not that you or your victim make for convincing merchants. If you're going to misrepresent yourself, put some effort into it. Wear gloves, for God's sakes. Or at least don't wave your hands in front of my face. The calluses on your fingers betray you as a veteran archer. Doubtless you used your skills to great effect 5 years ago, as did your partner. So again I ask, was it because he took from you your share or your sister? You don't touch a man's kin. He knew that, yet he... Damn, I thought he did it for the money. You two, he's all yours. Yes, of course. Thank you for your help, Inspector. At least he's competent. But when did investigating crimes become such a popular profession? It's not his job, you know. He just likes doing it. He belongs to one of Ishgard's high houses. Some say he's a baron. Not at all like that buffoon Hildibrand, don't you think? I try not to think about Hildibrand. We should get along. Lady Dorilda will not take kindly to wilted flowers. And now, for the first time in ages, we have to ask, why doesn't Vesper Bay have an Aetheryte?
Mm-hmm.
Doing this particular quest is probably when I used my last Aetheryte tickets to get to Vesper Bay. Again, as I told the last 20 who came before, if you have come looking for work, you are too late. And even if I were in need of additional security, I would not deign to hire a common adventurer. Now, remove yourself from my sight before I have you removed. Did you really think I could be so easily manipulated? Present the right gift, speak the magic words, and you would earn my respect. What is more, a flower's beauty is fleeting. I value beauty which transcends the boundaries of time, everlasting, enduring, unchanging, like mine. Now get out. Forgive us, Lady Drilda. We meant no disrespect. We were afraid that you would not heed our warnings otherwise. A notorious violent thief is plotting to steal the treaty blade. Fools. I shall come to claim the collector's blade, yes? I read the Mithril Eye. I know full well of whom you speak, and it is none of your concern. I have a legion of guards at my disposal. Should he try, I will have him seized, or worse. And even if by some miracle he should succeed, he will not escape my wrath, for I have retained the services of a certain gentleman. Ah, but you may see for yourself. Like every piece in my collection, he has been chosen with the utmost care. Now look on my peerless inspector, interlopers, and despair. Ships that pass in the night, a signal shown in the darkness. The lady cries out for a guardian, and a gentleman must needs oblige. I swear to you, here and now, I, Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, shall neither slumber nor sleep until the fiend who covets the treaty blade is brought to justice. Good sir, what brings you here? Are you come in pursuit of the duelist as well? Or perchance in pursuit of me? As if I would spend a single gil on an insufferable incompetent. To be fair, you were not spending a single gil on me. The chance to investigate such an intriguing case is payment enough. Preemptive declarations of criminal intent are hardly in vogue. Sorry, I'm late. Busy solving a murder. Briardian, consulting inspector. At your service, my lady. Conniving inspector. Consulting inspector. Rotting flesh and saltpeter. Hildibrand Manderville and Nashu Makaraka, I presume. Two rank amateurs playing at a profession of which they know not. Call me when you've finished with these wastrels. You see, I do not want nor need your help. Briardian is more than capable of overseeing the transfer. Now get out, all of you. Where have you been, Maria? And where is my vase? There was this strange flying thing, and the vase, I dropped it in the water. I was so... That vase once belonged to the Royal House of Thorn. Do you have any idea how much it was worth? You will go back outside right now and search for my vase, and you are not to return until you find it. Do I make myself clear? My lady, pray allow me to go in the girl's stead. It is not safe, for she herself spoke of a ferocious wild beast. With my unmatched investigative skills, I shall swiftly locate and recover the missing vase, thereby earning your respect, at which point you will gladly grant me permission to investigate the thieving duelist. Verily, it is a plan fiendishly clever in its intricacies. Not when spoken out loud. Miss Maria, would you be so kind as to tell me exactly what happened? I picked up the vase in Ul'dah like Mother said, and I was on my way home. I was crossing the bridge, and then the flying thing came. I got so scared, and so I ran. When I stopped, it was gone, but so was the vase. I think I dropped it in Nafika's wells. I want to go and look, but there were scary-looking things down there. I'm scared to go alone. You are no longer alone, Miss Maria. We shall go together and look for the vase. All 5 of us. All 4 of you. I'm going after Inspector Briarden. If the duelist strikes, I want to be there. But, Miss Ellie, how can you ignore the plight of a young girl for the sake of a story? Because that's my job, you imbecile. Well, we shall not be derelict in our duty to justice. Come, Nashu, we must away. Don't even know what the bloody vase looks like. Maria dear, listen. If it gets dangerous, or if you feel afraid, you run to this adventurer for help. You understand? The girl what run by earlier? Aye, I seen her. Had something in her hands, but dropped it while crossing the bridge. Didn't get a good look, but I reckon it doesn't matter any road. Whatever it was, it's long gone now.
Was that the same merchant?
I think the other merchants we met have had names. That guy was just named merchant, so probably not. Vase. Well, if anything that falls in the water is like to be swept downstream fairly quickly. Does this have anything to do with that queer winged beast I saw earlier? No? Never mind then. A pox upon that thieving demon bird. He shall rue the day he crossed paths with me. Huh? A vase? I know naught of what you... Ah, curse this infernal refuse underfoot. Every point is a dagger. There is something in the water at the man's feet. Do I spy the treasured vase of Lady Dorilda over there? Oh. Oh dear. Does this belong to you, child? Forgive me, I was so engrossed in my search that I did not notice. You searched for what, pray tell? The demon bird that absconded with my weapon. I set it down for but a moment, only to see its next in the talons of that accursed creature. I gave chase, following it to these waters, and in my haste I must have stepped upon your vase. Don't fret, Maria. I know it looks bad, but I'm sure Inspector Hildibrand will think of something. Oh, but I already have, my faithful assistant. Hearken to me now, for as the rising sun doth dispel the dark, so shall my solution resolve our dilemma. But first, we must gather as many fragments of the vase as we can find. Come to present your findings, have you? Splendid. Let's have a look. Precious pot shard. All the Sultan's chocobos and all the Sultan's men couldn't put this vase back together again. Well done, my friend. This should be more than sufficient for our needs. He has performed miracles with far less, after all. A shattered antique vase will not deter Inspector Hildibrand from his mission. There is but one person in all of Eorzea capable of reconstructing this vase, a man whose skill with a hammer has brought rival goldsmiths low. So breathtaking are his works, so fearsome his competitive spirit. This man is no mere goldsmith. You speak of him as one would of a great warrior. Once, a notorious gang of thieves perpetuated a series of robberies in Ul'dah, targeting establishments which sold luxury goods. One such shop was owned by the humble lapidary of whom I speak. He was the last shop the thieves struck. For the following morning, they were found beaten, bound, and gagged in the Gold Court. The brass blades never learned who was responsible. The only information they had was the testimony of a thief who kept muttering the words, "The hammer. The hammer." He sounds dangerous. Aye, That he does. And I do so enjoy the company of dangerous men. But where are my manners? I have yet to properly introduce myself. I am Gilgamesh, and this is my companion, Enkidu. Well, not really. It has been many moons since last I saw her. So to ease the burden of loneliness, I tamed a rooster and painted it green. In any case, you mean to search for this goldsmith, yes? If so, it would be my pleasure to help. The pleasure is all mine, Gilligan. I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, bid you welcome. If it is that hard for you to remember, I give you leave to call me Gil. Excellent suggestion, Greg. Playful monikers are an effective means of building camaraderie. Call me Hildy. Now then, from what I know of the goldsmith's propensity to procure his materials himself, I have deduced that he is most likely to be found in the vicinity of Blue Frog in northern Thanalan. It is there we shall begin our search. I don't know why I got the car out. Didn't need the car. The Doblin's wounds indicate that he was felled with a hammer. A trail of bloody footprints lead to the north. I don't think it's been dead long. Maybe whoever did this is still around? The basilisk's wounds indicate that it was felled with a hammer. A trail of bloody footprints leads to the north. Single blow to the head. Impressive. The Doblin, the basilisk, this Araman, all were slain with a hammer, as was the beast over yonder, unless I am mistaken. That chimera must be his latest prize, which means he must still be about. Mayhap he is watching us at this very moment, attempting to ascertain our intentions. He was ever a cautious man when on the hunt. Alas, it comes to this. Though every fiber of my being cries out in rebellion, I must break my oath and do the unspeakable. What must you do that is so terrible? I must dance. I'm a Manderville man, doing what only a Manderville can. From the peaks of Kurthis to Thanalan, Manderville man. I cannot avert mine eyes. That is the dance of House Manderville, passed down from father to son. Were I to perform it within sight of our quarry, he would not be able to resist revealing himself. Alas, I neglected to properly stretch my legs beforehand. My good man, I see no other solution. You must dance in my stead. Though it be a gross, nay, unconscionable violation of my family's tradition, I must bequeath to you the Manderville. You have learned the Manderville dance. The time has come for you to do what only a Manderville can. We are as siblings now, my constant comrade, for I have shared with you the secrets of House Manderville. Now you must use that knowledge. Go to the fallen Chimera and dance like only a Manderville can. Little tiny hammer.
Hammers. Each head has one.
Ah, I only noticed the one. Fancy yourself a Manderville man. You would do what only a Manderville can? Then lift your legs and put up your hands. Be a Manderville man. He comes. Ho ho ho. You have naught to fear from me. Not at all. The only accounts I have come to settle were with the Chimera. But you were not drawn here by some coincidence, were you? No, you came in search of me, Godbert. Why else would you gyrate your hips in such a gentlemanly fashion, if not that? But, more importantly, how in the hells did you learn the Manderville? If I did not teach you, then who... By the grace of Thal, what sorcery is this? He yet lives?
He's so sweet.
Hildibrand Heliodor Maximilian Manderville. "10 years, Hildibrand. 10 years since you left home. and 5 since I learned of your trip to Dalamud. How long were you planning to allow your mother and father to suffer under the illusion that their beloved son was dead? Son? You are Hildy's father? Godbert the goldsmith, Godbert the goldsmith's a Manderville man, smithing as only a Manderville can. Oil him up and give him a tan, fit for a Manderville man. Please, father, cease your undulations at once. There are more pressing matters at hand. This antique vase this antique vase must be made whole once more, for the sakes of Miss Maria. Do not worry, little one. I deal with worse cases before my morning bowel movement.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Hold your applause until the end. Firegot, guide my hammer. Look how it sparkles in the twilight, how it radiates elegance. Would you all not agree that this is a work of art? You've completely destroyed a priceless antique's historical value. Nonsense. I have taken a dull, unremarkable vase and transformed it into something far superior. I hope you were paying attention, Hildy. How long has it been since you last held a hammer? Father, that is not my path. I am an agent of inquiry, an inspector. It is my duty to help those in need. Miss Maria is one such person. There are others, too. Innocent people whose weapons were callously ripped from their hands by a thieving duelist. I thought you had put away childish dreams. No matter. You will understand in due time. No, I will not. I am an inspector, father. I could be naught else. Mr. Godbert, sir? I don't think my mother's going to like what you did. She probably won't let Mr. Hildibrand help with the investigation. We cannot say that for certain, can we? Mayhap she will take a liking to this reimagining. You spoke of a thieving duelist, did you not? It so happens I am something of a duelist myself. Were we to cross paths with this fellow, I would welcome the opportunity to pit my skills against his. In Kidu as well, I should think. I see you too possess a strong sense of justice. Full glad am I to have met you, Greg. Now, let us return to Vesper Bay and see let us see how our vase is received. Vesper Bay, you say? What a coincidence. I shall be traveling there on business once I have finished gathering materials. Oh, I think I might have seen the demon bird which took my weapon. Go on without me. I shall follow anon. And if you guys remember, I want to say it was in Stormblood. We got sent to the Golden Saucer to meet with the guy who owns the Golden Saucer. And I asked Zora, is he going to be wearing pants?
That's why.
That is why. If I must.
Dance party!
Keth and I are in sync on my screen.
I'm actually pretty close to in sync with you and Zora in mine. Although I think that's probably because the two of you were doing it when I came out of the cutscene, so you would have been synced up.
Saved you.
But yes, the chase sequence was one of my favorite things I'd seen in this quest line.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I thought he was going to do a One Punch Man on him. Or his hero name, Caped Baldy.
Uh-huh. A suplex worked pretty well, though.
Oh yeah. Still, he killed all those animals with one punch or one hammer hit.
True. Oh, and to explain Gilgamesh, in Final Fantasy V, there is a... Well, I don't really want to call him a villain, but he pops up as kind of one of the villain's main lackeys. And he pops up multiple times throughout the game. But every time you fight him, you beat him, and he runs away. But he always comes back to get you one more time. Until the very end when he shows up and kills a boss for you. And gets sucked into the dimensional void, never to be seen again. And that was Gilgamesh in his original incarnation. Hope she likes it. Reconstructed vase. If every component of an object were to be replaced, could the resulting object be fundamentally considered the same? Philosophers are unsure. Godbert does not care. Mother, I brought you the vase. By the gods, have you all no shame? How dare you make my daughter complicit in your chicanery? I don't know where you found this gaudy trash, but it bears no resemblance whatsoever to the vase I purchased. Now see here, Lady Dorilda. Not only did you send Maria to fetch your priceless vase alone, placing her in considerable danger should bandits or wild beasts attack, which they did, but... Gaudy trash? Lord Manderville, sir. I did not realize you had arrived. Though I know it is nothing compared to the lavish accommodations an esteemed gentleman such as yourself must enjoy, I pray my humble abode meets with your satisfaction. Oh, it does, my lady, it does indeed. Especially that exquisite vase over yonder. Although I gather from your previous comments that you do not like my reconstruction. Your reconstruction? Oh, I don't like it. I love it. I would go so far as to call it the new centerpiece of my Thorn Dynasty collection. Ah, what a relief. I would have been distressed had you said otherwise. We Mandervilles do take pride in our work and ever strive for professional perfection. Oh, but why am I repeating what my son Hildibrand doubtlessly told you when he offered to investigate the duelist's threats? Enough expository banter, I say. I cannot recall if your son used those precise words, but I do remember thinking that his help would be most welcome. You will be helping us, Inspector Hildibrand, will you not? Wait a minute. Your father is Lord Godbert Manderville, the man who took Elande Quiveron's seat on the Syndicate? It appears there have been a great many developments over the past 10 years, of which I was completely unaware. In any case, we must redirect our energies toward the investigation of the thieving duelist. Our first order of business will be to review all the facts from consenting Inspector Briarden. Why are you still here? Allow me to elucidate. Lady Dorilda has asked that we assist with the investigation. Now, kindly share with us all your information. Fine. Our plans have advanced to a stage that even you couldn't ruin them anyway. I commissioned several reproductions of the Treaty Blade through a merchant by the name of Zhozhen Pa, who traffics in counterfeit antiques. These blades have been delivered to the observatorium, where they are being distributed amongst Lady Dorilda's sellswords. Once I give the order, they will transport them via alternate routes to Vesper Bay. Oh, I think I get it. You're hiding the real transport with a bunch of decoys, right? They're all decoys. The moment the thief strikes, all our forces will converge on his location, including those disguised as small folk along each route. The real Treaty Blade will remain in its original owner's vault until the thief has been apprehended. Everything has been accounted for. You are superfluous.
So the guy who's making the counterfeits, though, is that little Lalafell back there.
Mm-hmm. Mayhap we could use more small folk to watch the roads in and out of the observatorium, assuming you have the capacity to conduct yourself in an unassuming fashion. Fear not, my fellow inspector, for I am a master of disguise. Have you any information regarding the duelist himself? A description? You never thought to ask Humphrey, did you? The thief is said to be a towering brute dressed in red who wields a halberd. A man so garishly dressed should be easy to find in snowy Curthis. Then I suppose I suppose we don't need your help after all, do we? Come, or don't. I couldn't care less. Be seeing you. Pray forgive my lateness. Greg, my good man, what a pleasure to see you again. We just received new information regarding the weapon thief. A victim described him as a halberd-wielding brute dressed in a ridiculous outfit. A ridiculous outfit? Ho! Now I am intrigued. What reasons would a warrior have to wear impractical clothing? What reasons indeed? It is enough to make a gentleman laugh.
Big brute red with a halberd.
Well, Gilgamesh's halberd was stolen, and Hildibrand has already forgotten the comment about red, apparently.
Yeah.
Inspector Hildibrand would have you accompany him to Curthis. Allow me to summarize our current plan of action. Our destination is the Observatorium, and our mission is to pose as goodly small folk, in accordance with Inspector Briarden's instructions. Naturally, should the situation demand improvisation, we are to disregard those instructions. Any questions? No? Then let us sally forth at once. Can't remember. Is Emma Lane officially here? Oh, this is the wrong building.
I don't think so. But I don't remember.
Yep, he's right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's the younger brother, right?
Right.
Mhm. I don't remember the older brother's name.
That's a good question. It starts with an A. I remember that, but I can't remember beyond that. Hail to thee, fellow servant of justice. I take it you are one of the many tasked with transporting a counterfeit treaty blade? Clearly you've mistaken me for someone else, sir. At ease, Sergeant. They're with us. More small folk. Keep an eye on them. Or else. But, sir... Bugger me. Don't you bloody move until I get back. I say, is this land always so inhospitable? The biting winds, the endless snows. Mayhap keeping active will help me to stay warm. Oh, and should I chance to find the thieving duelist, I will of course summon you, after administering a requisite beating. Haha. Good, you're still... Wasn't there someone else with you a moment ago? Ah, you speak of Greg. He ventured outside the gates mere moments ago, before your arrival, full eager to catch the thief, as we are. Come, Nashu. We too must answer the call of duty. You look like you might actually be useful. We don't have a word with a... Why don't you have a word with my man near the east gates? We're undermanned over there.
I feel like this is the quest line that was in WoW, that with the goblins and the in was it in Legion? And we got the title that because they killed him. They killed the goblins, killed the guy, the Taurans, and you don't have a choice but to go along with it. The Gullible, the title, The Gullible.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember that now, yeah.
Because I feel like we should be like, dude.
Indeed. You see that just now? No? I don't think my eyes are playing tricks on me, but there's only one way to be sure. You wait here. Inspector, over there, look. What is it, Nashu? Pray tell me what you see. Aha! I see you, demon bird. You will not escape me this time. Hello there, my friends. Is aught amiss? Oh, it's just Greg. For a moment, I thought you might have spotted our thief. Come, Nashu. We have lingered here over long. We must egress post haste. There is naught out of the ordinary here either. No luck, huh? We have scoured every elm of this area to no avail. I can only conclude that having learned that his opponent was to be the legendary Inspector Hildibrand, the duelist renounced his criminal ways and retreated into hiding. Or perhaps he is waiting patiently outside the walls for more wagons to leave. That being said, should you decide to venture out into the wilderness, you had best arm yourself with more than your wits. I appreciate your concern, Miss Ellie, but a gentleman should abstain from violence unless absolutely necessary. I'll fight for you, Inspector. I even found a weapon to use. By the 12, is that the selfsame spear which propelled me to the Red Moon? Wherever did you find it? It was buried in the snow. Well, one cannot ignore the will of destiny. Return it to me, Nashu. Though, I will still endeavor to avoid fisticuffs. I will be duly armed should worse come to worse. Now then, we begin our search for the duelist to the east of the observatorium. Wherefore art thou, my nefarious nemesis? Was not the selfsame creature, but one of many. Nevertheless, I know that my weapon is close by. You sense it, don't you? Greg, I've been meaning to ask you, why do you covet this weapon so? If you but beheld it, you would understand. In some ways it bore resemblance to a spear, but in other respects it was quite different. It was crowned with a magnificent axe blade, to which was welded a musket barrel. It was one of the first weapons I added to my collection after arriving in these lands. Ah, how I yearn to reclaim it. The strongest of spears. That weapon of yours bears a striking resemblance to... the strongest of spears. I claimed this weapon 5 years ago. Surely you can't be serious. Now you call me Shirley? No matter. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Stop calling you Shirley.
Indeed. This spear and I have traveled together to the very heavens. I will not relinquish it again. This spear and I have bested many a man together. I will not relinquish it again. Then we are at an impasse. I, I can't believe I'm saying this, but well done, Inspector. Thanks to you, we've caught the weapon thief in the act. Miss Ellie, you're grossly misreading our dispute. Greg is a good, honest man who I am certain has never stolen a weapon in his life. Indeed, I have not. Every weapon I have claimed was by rights mine. Each was a trophy for besting my opponent in single combat. I believe that constitutes a confession. Seize him. A confession to what? I have done naught wrong. You are all beyond reason. Aha! Yes, my plan to secure Greg's confession was utterly flawless, and his capture will be the coup de grace. Well, my plan is thus far flawless. Griffin Crossing is still impassable. I know who you are, even if that imbecile doesn't. So let's not mince words. Only you have the skill to face the duelist in battle. Even so, your strength alone will likely not suffice. I suggest you muster what allies you can. He is embedded in the ground. Again. Nashu? Miss Ellie? Ah, my good man. It is a relief to hear your footfalls. As you have doubtlessly deduced, I was unable to prevent Greg from escaping through these doors. I must leave the rest to you. Yes, it was I, behind these doors the whole time. You took so long to arrive, I was getting worried you might have gotten lost. Long did I wonder what your role in this play was. A silent guardian, content to watch events unfold with minimal interaction. At the last, I understand. We were fated to duel, you and I. Best me, and you may have the spear. Fail, and your weapons are forfeit. Fair terms, do you not think? I will even extend them to your allies. I grant you leave to summon others. After all, it will avail you no advantage. For Gilgamesh, it is embiggening time.
Even the chicken got big.
Mm-hmm. And just another reference, in Final Fantasy V, the first time you face Gilgamesh is in a sequence called The Battle of the Big Bridge. So. And this was the song that played.
Go on, Engidu. It's true. You're fine. I admit it. Fighting all 8 of you is just too much for me. Not? Ha! I lied. Hevathy! Why, I've been had! This is far from the strongest of spears. I feel so betrayed. Goodness gracious. I, just remembered something.
This was a pretty annoying fight to solo back when I did it, because he kept turning me into a frog.
Hold on. I must say, I quite enjoy these tussles. I feel I won't go down so easily.
I like my reaction.
Chickens can't fly.
You doubt the mighty Enkudu?
Mm-hmm.
Alone, yet still armed. In any case, he seemed satisfied with the halberd. We will proceed with the delivery. Nashu says, "Are you dead again, Inspector?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I just figured something out.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Just wait and see if I was right.
all right. Ah, it's more magnificent than I imagined. It'll make a fine addition to my collection. And with that, our business is concluded. Cheers. I genuinely mean that in your case, by the way. All's well that ends well, right, Inspector? Though it's a shame that Greg turned out to be the thief. There you are, Inspector Briarden. Why did you not wait for me at the docks? Hmm? Why are you all staring at me so? Oh, never mind that. Where is my treaty blade? What? Didn't we just give you the treaty blade? Disguise yourself as the client and let the treaty blade come to you. Take advantage of an existing situation to distract us from the real crime. Brilliant. The man in red never spoke of the treaty blade, only the halberd. Moreover, he always issued his challenges in person. Dear gods, isn't it obvious? What is it like in your funny little brains? It must be so boring. If the man in red did not send the challenge, then who did? I believe this is addressed to me. Condescending Inspector Briarden. Piss off. 400 years have I slept. 1,000 faces do I wear. What is yours will be mine. I shall come to claim the Lapis Maiden's virtue. A many-faced phantom thief. Interesting. The design and the wording are the same as before. The thief who stole the treaty blade sent this. Very well. I, and I alone, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, once more accept your challenge. You want a challenge, huh? Stand and face me, you buffoon. How dare you all laugh at a time like this, after allowing my precious treaty blade to be stolen? And you, Maria. Well, I suppose it is a little funny, isn't it? The two of them dashing to and fro. A pair of gentlemen mummers. It's been far too long since we've seen a show. We should head into the city later. Just you and me. Not bad, Hildy. Not bad at all. You are indeed a Manderville man. Mark my face, O phantom of many faces, for it is the face of the. The fiend dares lay claim to the fair maiden's virtue. As seeds of jealousy quicken within an inspector's soul, can true love bloom on this battlefield? Will this Manderville man find his Manderville wife? Manderville will return in a case of indecency. Hey, what's with the goggles those men were wearing? They look special. Maybe if I ask nicely, they'll give me a pair. I guess we'll find out next time. Ellie has put her skills as a reporter to good use. Ah, there you are. I've been doing some investigating on my own since we last parted. I believe I've found our Lapis Maiden. The girl's name is Arabella, daughter of one Master Gugaremu, a prominent member of the East Alanard Trading Company. Her eyes and hair are a most exceptional shade of blue. Her beauty is the talk of the Sultanate. Her purported beauty, I should say. You see, none have actually seen the girl in the flesh. Apparently her father is the overprotective sort. Some say the maiden has never set foot outside the family's well-guarded estate. But all this is about to change. Rumor has it that the girl is to be wed. And not just to anyone, mind you, but to the heir of the Bruguiere Consortium. The formal announcement is set to be made at a commemorative feast to be jointly hosted by the two family businesses. The venue is Costa del Sol, where preparations are going on as we speak. Word on the street is the bride-to-be will be making a rare public appearance. It is here that the thief intends to strike. I couldn't be more certain of it. Piqued your interest, have I? My sources tell me that the bride's father is already in Costa del Sol, overseeing the preparations. This is one scoop I'm not going to miss, and you're welcome to come along. So was it what you expected, Emo?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
You're not one of my associates. This banquet is for invited guests only. You have no business here. Be on your way at once. Beg pardon, good sir. My name is Ellie, reporter for the Mithril Eye. I might have just a moment of Ah, yes, the two-gill sensationalist rag. I read your tiresome screed about the self-styled phantom thief in his letter of challenge. If you have come to tell me my daughter is in danger, I can assure you that your concern is entirely unwarranted. I have not kept my Arabella safe to this day to see her whisked away from me by some fly-by-night rogue. I have spared no expense in securing the best protection that money can buy. The Brass Blades of Gerba, an elite unit of the most lethal swordsmen in the Sultanate. They say one of them once caused a man's heart to burst just by looking at him askance. The moment they set eyes on the would-be thief will be his last. If the thief is obliging enough to allow himself to be seen, or do those goggles serve some purpose other than to make the wearer look utterly ridiculous? Consulting Inspector Briarden, your reputation precedes you. And what, pray tell, would you propose? I have promised some of the wealthiest men in the realm that my daughter will be attending the festivities. To renege would be, on my word, would have dire implications for the family trade. My proposal is a simple one. Entrust the investigation to me. The thief will be in shackles before the banquet commences, and it will cost you not a whit of your precious gil. Very well. Let us see if your reputation is deserved. But consider yourself warned. Greater fortunes than you will ever know hinge upon this banquet. I will not tolerate any disturbances. Such touching concern for his coin purse. If only he could muster the same for his daughter. But do tell, Inspector, after he slipped under our noses the last time, what makes you so confident that you can catch our thief this time around? Our man may boast 1,000 faces, but he has but a single modus operandi, and it is painfully obvious. A letter of challenge, a precious treasure whisked away from its rightful owner in the broad light of day. This tells me that our thief is an attention seeker, with supreme confidence in his abilities. Doubtless he means to target the maiden using the same methods he used to abscond with the treaty blade. Even now, the fiend is in our midst, having assumed the identity of someone who will be in close proximity to Miss Arabella at the feast. I have already narrowed the field. Arabella's betrothed, Vons, would be an obvious target for our thief. So too would be his father, Morgant. Yalta Nolto and his wife, Siena, the guests of honor, will give the toast to the couple's happiness. Both will be standing close to the stage where the bride-to-be is set to appear. Needless to say, we cannot rule out Gugurumu himself. Finally, we have Lewenhart, as steward of the Gugurumu estate and Miss Arabella's personal attendant. All the key players, save for the Lapis Maiden herself, is assembled in Costa del Sol. Doubtless, the phantom thief lurks among them, his face concealed, gathering information and planning his course of attack. We will begin our questioning of the suspects immediately. Should you encounter any suspicious individuals, you are to report back to me at once. Hildibrand Manderville. I could smell the stench of idiocy and incompetence from a mile away. The pleasure is all mine, contriving Inspector Briarden. Forgive me for not revealing myself sooner. I was simply conducting a bit of preliminary undercover investigative work. Yet to see through my ingenious disguise with such ease. Yes, I dare say your powers of observation rival even my own. Fear not, friends. I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, have arrived to defend the maiden's honor as only a Manderville man can. He does realize there's still a fish on his head, doesn't he? Good, Inspector. I realize we have not yet seen eye to monocle in the past, but a fair maiden's virtue, mayhap her very life, is at stake. From one gentleman to another, let us put aside our differences. Yes, I would welcome your assistance in this case. Me? Assist you? Aren't you a funny man? It makes no matter. My plan is so flawless that not even your bungling can interfere this time. If you wish to assist me, you may do so by keeping watch over the suspects. In the meantime, I have a promising lead to investigate. I shall return before the banquet begins. While I know this may be asking much, do try not to do anything too stupid in my absence, will you? I would speak with you, but not here. I will be waiting for you outside Costa del Sol. Come quickly, for we do not have the luxury of time. And I need to AFK for just a minute. I'll be right back.
I am going to do the same.
The dude's assistant kept looking at his head with the fish on it.
And I am back.
Welcome back.
I am back. KJ is AFK.
Okay.
I'm back.
Welcome back. You've come. Excellent. With that buffoon suitably distracted, we can get to more important matters. But before we proceed, what might I call you? An unremarkable name, but it will suffice. Now answer me this. You were there when the Phantom Thief, in the disguise of Lady Dorilda, stole off with the treaty blade. Was there anything about our foe's disguise that struck you as particularly noteworthy? I'm going with option 1. The obvious answer. And yet all too many, a certain self-styled gentleman comes to mind, could not recognize a clue if it hit them upside the face. Your observation is astute. A thorough inspection of the mask left behind at the scene revealed a tiny prism sewn into the fabric. It is this stone that allowed him to change appearances at will. Clearly our man is no ordinary thief. Magics far outside the grasp of common folk are at his disposal. This in itself gives us insight into his identity and his ways. And yet, this is not what caught my eye. No, from the movements to the mannerisms, to the utterly obnoxious personality, the thief did not merely look like Lady Dorilda. He was her. Such a feat could not be accomplished by magical trickery alone. We are dealing with a clever and thorough criminal. Not content to rely on his ample powers of disguise, he studies his targets closely before assuming their identities. He emulates them utterly and completely, and not even their closest friends or family could detect that aught is amiss. All the key players arrived at Costa del Sol 3 days ago, when preparations for the banquet began. This would afford our thief more than enough time to study his would-be target. And yet, some disguises are more challenging than others. Put yourself in the mind of our Phantom. If you were the thief, whose identity would you first assumed? I'm going to say one of the blades. Precisely. Clearly you are far less useless than our bumbling inspector whose company you keep. Strong in number, few of words, able to come and go as they please. A fearsome reputation to scare away any who would draw near enough to realize something was amiss. An ideal entry into Costa del Sol for our man. Deducing as much, I made a point to question brass blades in the area. Little to my surprise, I learned that there was one man who had not been seen at his favorite alehouse for 3 days past. Our thief has not made a habit of wanton murder. Doubtless the poor man is lying naked in a ditch not far from here. In addition to general security duties, each of the blades has been assigned to serve as bodyguard for one or more of the guests. If the man can tell us his assigned charge, like as not, his answer will reveal the current identity of our thief. Our thief would not have had the time to carry this unconscious man far. I will canvass the immediate area. You begin your search on the outskirts of Costa del Sol. That's a big crab. Excellent. You are one of the less incompetent assistants I have worked with. Thank the gods. Please free me from these chains before the snippers eat me alive. There now. Tell me all that you can remember about what happened to you, and try to be brief. We just arrived at Costa del Sol. Had a briefing of sorts. Gergamu gave us each of our orders, who we'd be looking after and the like. Had a mind to tour the area. Got my bearings. Next thing I knew, I felt a thwack on the back of my head. When I came to, I was stripped to my skivvies. Much to the chagrin of those of us who have to look at you. You say you received orders from Master Gergamu. Who was to be your charge? Memory's hazy, but one was from Morgant, father of the groom. The other was a Lalafelian gent from Limsa. Yaltanolto. Now try best to remember. Were there any other guests with whom you were ordered to interact? Come to think of it, yes. There was also the steward, Lewenhart. I was to review with him the schedule of events, discuss the protection of key supplies, that sort of thing. Morgant, Yaltanolto, and Lewenhart. Thank you. For an incompetent fool, your testimony has proved astonishingly enlightening. I shall see this man back to the city and into the possession of some new clothes. After which I shall return to Costa del Sol to continue the investigation. Go on ahead of me, and for the love of the gods, just make sure that imbecile doesn't cause too much trouble in my absence. I'm trying to remember if Briarden has appeared in any quest lines outside of Hildibrand. I want to say we encountered him in Ishgard at some point, didn't we?
I don't know. I don't remember him.
I can't remember, yeah.
Alright. Ah, there you are, friend. And not a moment too soon, for I was about to commence my investigation in earnest. Tell me, did your and Inspector Briarden's avenue of inquiry bear fruit? Morgant, Yaltanolto, and the steward Lewenhart, you say? This does not surprise me. Yes, I had considered them all exceptionally suspicious from the start. With the Lapis Maiden in danger, we cannot afford a moment's delay. I, Hildibrand, shall have our thieves in shackles before the inspector returns. Fear not, friend. The inspector shall be none the wiser. Ha ha! If he had hoped to nab the fiend for himself, he should have simplified the task for me. He shouldn't have simplified the task for me so. Ah, there is one of our suspects, standing suspiciously under that canopy over there. Just you wait, fiend. I shall rip the mask from your face and reveal you for the rogue that you are.
Crap.
Uh-huh. Oh, he's going to start with the father of the groom as well. Right in front of the father of the bride. This is going to go great, Hildibrand. Stand back, friend. The man we pursue is a criminal mastermind. The merest slip of the tongue could put our case, nay, our very lives, in danger. But have no fear, Miss Ellie. Ready your quill, that you might record every word as I employ the time-honored art of parley, handed down from Manderville men of ages past to reveal our foe. I could think of few topics that would interest my readers less than your blatherings. Just catch the thief so I can have my story, would you? Don't worry, Inspector. I brought my quill and journal too. Your adoring fans won't miss a word. Capital! This is why you are my favorite assistant, Nashu. Now, behold as I ensnare our prey in a web of words leading to his inevitable demise. Good evening, Mr. Gegarimo. And a fine evening it must be for you most of all. Allow me to offer my most heartfelt congratulations on your betrothal to the enchanting Miss Arabella. What is this nonsense? Arabella is my daughter, you... Just who in the seven hells are you, anyway? Guards! Guards! Ha! Now hold your chocobos, Gargamel. I recognize the lad. This is Hildibrand, agent of inquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Come to save the lovely lass from the clutches of a phantom thief, have you? I reckon we owe the man our gratitude. Aye, Vanes? Phantom thief? Balderdash and rot, if you ask me. That said, my betrothed must be quite the beauty indeed to have such rumors told about her. Perhaps she's worthy of me after all. He exudes an unusual degree of confidence for such an effete, fashion-challenged youth. Most suspicious. He's a damn sight easier on the eyes than you. That's my veins over there. That's my vans over the... That's me veins, ever calm in the face of danger. Truly his father's son. A worthy heir to the Bruguiere consortium, and a worthy match for my daughter, I must say. Yes, I foresee many years of prosperity for our families. Or family, I should say. Which reminds me, Master Vance. Arabella asked me to convey her gratitude to you for the golden clasp you sent some months ago. It has not left her neck since that day. Oh, that little trinket, 'twas nothing. Tell your daughter the greatest treasures in the realm will be hers once we're wed. The time-honored Manderville art of parley. We'd be sleeping with the fishes now had Morgant not spoken up on your behalf. As said, nothing about the interactions between these three struck me as particularly unnatural. Let us not rush to conclusions, Miss Ellie. A gentleman fancies a more methodical approach. Yes, everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Oops, I was supposed to be taking this down, wasn't I? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Sought only to earn the trust of the families before confronting Yaltanalto and Lewenhard, who have aroused my suspicion from the start. Come, we have a thief to apprehend. I've not seen your faces around here. With the East Alanard Trading Company, are ye? Why, yes, good sir. Very much with them. Some might even say we are the East Alanard Trading Company. Aha! Pleasure to meet you. Do tell, is the Lapis Maiden as lovely as they say? Dinah here is no slouch herself, but like me, she's getting on in years. No offense intended, my dear. Oh, but where are my manners? Yalta Nalto of the Bergere Consortium, and this is my wife, Sainya. I look forward to many profitable dealings with you and yours in the moons and years to come. Aye, I dare say this wedding and the joining together of our family businesses couldn't be happening at a better time. What with all the manner of fell beasts and beastmen taking aim at our wares. Why, just the other day, a shipment of imported foodstuffs was waylaid by mandragoras. Nasty buggers, the lot of them. If I were 20 years younger, I'd dice them up myself and make a salad out of them. You've heard of mandragoras, haven't you? But of course, I once spent a year honing my body and mind in the fist of Ralgar. My fellow monks and I would chant several hundred mantra whatsits a day. And your food stores were occasionally raided by a ruthless band of rogue vegetables known as mandragoras, yes? Would it kill you to read the Mithril and educate yourselves from time to time? A fearsome lot they are. Rumor has it they'll not rest until every fruit and vegetable harvested for consumption has been freed from captivity. Why, they struck at the larder here just days ago. Our supplies were decimated. Fear not, my lady. I was able to arrange for an emergency shipment to replace the stolen produce. It arrived safely some time ago. Settle down, Saina. Forgive my wife. She's always saying how meat is bad for her figure. And with that, I'd best go prepare my speech. Carry on, lads. Criminy. None of those three were suspicious in the least. But we must not give up hope. Lest he of many faces have the last laugh. Where there is a will, a gentleman shall find a way. Come, Nashu. We must move quickly, or the Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm. You speak so fast, Inspector. The sign of a quick mind, I'm sure. Now, where was I? Give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. The Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm. I'm not sure that captures the Inspector's intended meaning. But this is no time for us to be standing around. Inspector Briarden will be back any moment now, and he's not the type to suffer excuses. Quite so, Miss Ellie. Fortunately, I have a plan. Let us investigate the foodstuffs of which Master Lewinhart spoke. Should we find any contradictions in his testimony, we can consider the man a prime suspect. Inspector Briarden will be back before long. Come, Nashu. This is no time for delay. Crates of assorted foodstuffs, and a veritable host of luscious-looking coconuts. It appears that our man Lewinhart spoke true. Ye gads! Are those explosives I spy concealed among these coconuts? Perhaps I spoke in haste. It would appear that we have found our phantom thief after all. Oh, those are mine, Inspector. I was looking for a place to set them down. Nashu, far be it from me to cast doubt on your choice of hobbies, but what in the name of the 12 would possess you to bring your creations to an investigation? Well, they were so helpful in jogging your memory that one time, And I just thought, does this mean you won't be needing this piece of driftwood either? Your enthusiasm is always admirable, Nashu. But in this event, I fear it's somewhat misdirected. Now, set the driftwood down over there and concentrate on taking your notes like the astute assistant you are. I say, we are most fortunate that confounding Inspector Briarden is otherwise occupied at the moment. Were he chance upon this scene, he would veritably explode in rage. Now, let us dispose of these things before an errant ember sends us all to a fiery demise. Confounding Inspector Briarden, explode, a fiery demise. Got it. Are you sure about that? Uh-oh. Don't look now, but someone has returned at the absolute worst possible time. You two are supposed to be keeping an eye on the suspects and staying out of trouble, yes? The inspector will have a fit if he sees you here. But, Miss Ellie, should Inspector Briarden come upon these explosives, the consequences will be even more dire. We will see that the inspector keeps a wide berth from this beach. You two just get out of here and be quick about it. Quick thinking, Miss Ellie. Come, Nashu. We shall return for your creations once Inspector Briarden has been led safely from the scene. Investigation calls us, and we must heed its cry. So, Hildibrand has managed thus far not to destroy anything. Consider me something almost resembling impressed. Indeed, but enough about Hildibrand. We've been waiting to hear your latest theories. We should go somewhere quiet and... An excellent idea, Miss Ellie. Ah, yes. That spot just over there by those crates should suffice. There, of all places? But surely we could find somewhere more scenic. I am not here on vacation. I am here to solve a case. Besides, we cannot afford to have our conversation overheard. That junk-littered beach should afford us some welcome privacy. Yes, Inspector. Privacy, indeed. Bloody hells. Don't worry. I'll figure out some way to lead him clear of the bombs. Just me, or is there a bit of a chill in the air? Perhaps we should go someplace warm. I, for one, welcome a respite from the sweltering heat. Besides, this will not take long. If you insist, Inspector. Through the questioning of a brass blade attacked by our quarry, I have identified the 3 individuals most likely to be our thief in disguise. To wit, Morgant, Yaltanalto, and Lewenhart. The 3 of us shall split up, with each of us keeping watch over... Are you two listening? Of course we are. Beg pardon, Inspector. You look unwell, Miss Ellie. Perhaps you were right. I too feel a chill wind blowing in. Mayhap we should continue our conversation elsewhere. Ah, but there is no need. Wait here, I shall build us a fire. Aha! Methinks the inspector has taken leave of his senses. The chance of locating suitable kindling in these barren shores is infinitesimal. Ah, here we are. This piece of driftwood should serve perfectly. And as fortune would have it, I just happen to have my flint and stone. Just have a flint stone on my person. There is no cause for alarm. 'Tis not blood that courses through the inspector's veins, but ice. I could not fathom a series of events that would lead to such a calm and composed individual to lose his firm grip on that fiery torch. Remarkable insight, Inspector. I must record these words for posterity. It's flying! What have we here? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Could this be another challenge from the fiend? Surely you jest, Inspector. It looks nothing like his usual cards, see? Doubtless it's just idle ravings of some madman. Perhaps so, but we must exercise due caution. Ah, there are 2 more pages. Give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. It is not the lapis maiden alone that shall come to harm. It is more direct than his previous challenges. But there can be no doubt as to the sender. But what is this talk of another victim? The final page holds the answer, no doubt. The final page? Confounding Inspector Briarden will meet a fiery demise. You saw through the fiend's ruse. But how? Let's just call it reporter's intuition. Are you hurt? A ringing in my ears, but otherwise no worse for the wear. You have my gratitude. Hildibrand Manderville, were you able to learn aught of the fiend who made this ignoble attempt on my life? I exhausted every effort, Inspector, yet I fear our quarry proves ever elusive. Excellent. I might have died of shock if you had. At any rate, our foe has revealed himself as no mere thief, but a madman who will resort to cold-blooded murder. We must redouble our vigilance, lest the others come to harm. Vigilance. Yes, vigilance is the order of the day. What in the name of the gods? False teeth! Those vegetables cost a fortune, and they're ruined! Ruined! Agent of inquiry. More like agent of injury and incompetence. You are to replace the supplies that you destroyed before the banquet begins, or I will see the entire lot of you rot in jail. I believe that is probably where we will need to stop for the evening.
Okay.
So just one moment and I will wind down the stream. Alright guys, that's about halfway through the first Hildibrand quest line. So I'd call that pretty good progress for one night. So tomorrow, I guess we'll continue. So until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. And have a good night.